In the earlier tutorial, we learned about if-then statement. In this tutorial, we will learn about with, end with block. Remember, in few earlier tutorials, we learned about some formatting properties and methods like font, .name, .size, .color, etc. But when we have to work on, say, 5 properties of font of a particular cell, what I'll have to do is write all the code lines for 5 properties. Let's take one example for a better explanation. In the exercise files, open the file 19 with end with. Click on the Enable Macro button. Consider we have to change the font, its size, make it bold, underline it, and color cell B3. So let's see what code we have to write for this purpose. Press Alt and F11 to open the VBA editor. If you look at the code, you will notice that this part is exactly the same for all lines. Such repetition of codes increases time required to write the code, makes it bulky, and slows down the speed of code execution as length of code gets bigger and bigger. For that matter, there is one block called with block which avoids the repeated part from all the lines. Let's delete these codes of lines. Now, let's see how to use the with block. Type with, press the space bar, type cells, open parenthesis, the row index is 3. Put a comma. For the column index, type 2, close the parenthesis, put a dot, and then type font. Press enter to add a new line. Now we have to change the name of the file. Put a dot, type name, put an equal sign, put open inverted commas, type Tahoma, close the inverted comma, press enter. Let's increase the size of the font. Type dot, size, put an equal sign, and type 14. Press enter. Let's make the text in cell bold. Type dot, bold, put an equal sign and type true. In the new line, type dot, underline, put an equal sign and type true. Let's change the color of the font as well. Type dot, color, put an equal sign and type VB magenta. Press enter. Now let's send the block type end with. Let's run the code and see the result. In the above statement, we mentioned object and font property after with because it was common to both the earlier statements, and then dot name and dot size, dot bold, dot underline, dot color properties on successive lines followed by end with, which ends the with statement. The functionality of both the codes is exactly similar, but the latter is more concise and particularly helpful when many actions are to be performed. Also treat with end with as one block and separate it from the rest of the code by adding blank line above with and after end with. With block is very useful when we write long codes because it makes the code shorter, makes it concise and easy to understand, as we can easily check which actions are getting performed on one particular object or its property. This concludes our tutorial on with end with.